Hey guys, just doing a follow-up video for the ASUS 144Hz gaming monitor that I just bought. Just want to show how wonderfully messy my room is right now. I'm just working on a few rigs. It's just a mess, but anyways, just a video on in regards to the ASUS monitor, ASUS or ASUS, I don't know, however way you want to call it. My initial impressions were actually quite good. I immediately after the video I actually posted with the unboxing. I put it together. It didn't take long. There wasn't any drivers. I thought there was drivers that I needed to install, but it was just a plug and play installation. The one thing I did figure out was, because when I first started playing, I wasn't getting the 144 hertz, and that's because I hooked it up with HDMI, which I did not know. I thought that HDMI would be a better connection source for high speeds, right? 120 hertz or higher. Apparently it wasn't. So I did some research and I found out that you needed to use the in-box DVI cables that came included with the box. So I installed that, and boom, I got the speeds. And the first game I did, and probably the majority of the gaming I did for my testing for this monitor was Battlefield 3. One thing I did notice at the start was the colors and the settings and all that. It needed to get tweaked a little bit. So I'm just watching some overclock 3D net on a Corsair 900D. In case I would love to get one day, but I need to get a rig that would fit it or use it properly. So yeah, the colors and all that kind of stuff wasn't too great. I mean, they were good, but it was more about the speed, right? So, and to be honest with you, right off the bat, I did see the difference in speed and feel. On my rig currently, I do max out. Let me just try and get into a game here, so I can hopefully you can see some kind of things that I see on the monitor. I don't get full 144 frames. I do hit that at times, but not all the time. But nevertheless, even at 90 or whatever frames I am getting, sometimes it dips, I think, to 70s at times. It still is very responsive. So there's three things to remember. There's a refresh rate, which is 144 hertz. There's response time, which is the 1 millisecond, and then there's also there's another one now. Or am I thinking response time? I do notice that at the beginning of most games or anything that I do with the monitor, it starts off dark, and then it let me turn it down here just in case you guys can hear. It lights up for the lighting. I'm not sure if that's a certain type of feature that the game comes with, or if that's a natural thing, I don't know. But it does start off a little dim, but then it adjusts to the light. But yeah, it's funny because from my impressions of this game, my scores have gotten better, and I think it's because I can respond. My response time is very good. Hit him once. And honestly, I was very skeptical. I'm usually quite skeptical of things like this, considering, well, I've only experienced 60 hertz monitors until now, and I built this rig. I might as well use the available frames that I'm getting from this game to good use, and that was the only thing that was limited me from limiting me to a full enjoyment of my rig, right? Because I have the power, I got the rig to run it, but my monitor is holding back the 60 frames, so I decided, you know what, this is my last. Oh my god. Can't talk and play at the same time here. it was the last thing to get the full enjoyment factor, I guess, from my games. And to be honest, like I said, in Battlefield 3, the speeds are there. Mind you, like I said, you do have to do some tweaking with the colors and that. But after that, I mean, it looks pretty darn good. Before I get too caught up in my game here. Hopefully, in some way, you guys can see how smooth it is. And how quick the response is. Like the mouse lag, or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's so accurate. Like, it feels true motion, like your movements. Okay, so the other thing that I just tried recently with this monitor, which blew my mind. I thought about a game, and I love racing games, but there's no real good racing games for PC. I wish they came out with Forza for PC. That would be just my ultimate favorite thing to play. So I thought about a game that I have for racing that I know my rig can get high frames on. And then I thought of Need for Speed Shift, which graphically is a pretty good game. It's fun to play. And like I said, my rig before can get, and that was a Q9550, pretty decently high frames. So, I mean, I haven't installed this game until now. You can see how high my frames are running, and oops, almost knocked out my camera. How high my frames rate, it's hitting like 1,000, but that's in the load up screen, right? But that just goes to show you how easy this game is to run. I'm gonna load this up, and so I installed this game just a few days ago, actually, and it reminded me of making this video. It looks amazing, freaking amazing. Couple of things I did notice when playing is that it looks a lot better. Like, you really notice the motion and the smoothness when you're on the exterior of the vehicle or when you're right down to the road. If you're going, I usually drive in cockpit. Let's do a quick race here. Something easy, whatever. This doesn't matter. So it's showing at 58, 65 frames just at the load up, but I get about, I think I get about 100 something, I think.
Right, few seconds to start, so what's o'clock?
130, 115, 121 frames per second. So on exterior mode here, it's just amazing. It looks so good. This is the mode that I usually use, this one here, which looks awesome too. And then by no means does it look bad, but you really get to see the sense of speed, I guess, when you're in the exterior, especially with the monitor. There's this guy here. Oopsies. In here. To the ground. So we'll switch to exterior view again, and it just looks amazing in this one with this monitor, like amazing. So I'm getting about 100 frames right now, but it obviously dips up and down. Now I'm hitting 123s, 113s. So the same thing if I go to this mode here, because you're right down close to the road where most of the fast-moving objects are, and it's so clear, and there's no blur, unless it's intended to be put in there from the game. I think there's motion blur settings on this game, but you can see, like, I mean, I hope you guys can see how clear it is. Precise and smooth it's running. I hit 150 there frames. Oops, I was looking at my frames. What other games have I tested on this? I can't remember. I tested a few games, Counter-Strike Source and that, and or not Source, Counter-Strike Global, whatever the most recent one is, Global Offensive. It's pretty good too, but that game's graphics is quite old. So overall, this monitor is a win. I've been doing a lot of research because I was still debating if I should return it or not, because I had a 7-day return policy or whatever. And I kept it. When you compare it to IPS monitors, I know that supposedly the colors aren't as accurate as it would be on an IPS, but it's pretty damn close, or good, if not, compared to IPS. I mean, IPS has that, but the problem with IPS monitors is that it's got slow refresh rates and times, so it doesn't really work well for gaming, especially high-speed gaming like first-person shooters and racing games. Yeah, so it's a clear winner. It's definitely not as bright, or I mean not as bright, not as color accurate as IPS's, but the speed, there's nothing that matches it right now. The response time is great, the refresh rate is great, and the colors are good, if not, you know, above good. So it's definitely a win. The size, it feels bigger than it is for some reason. I don't know. I have two other 24-inch monitors, but it feels bigger. I don't know why. It's also got the options of going landscape and whatever that other mode is, vertical or whatever. It's got the up and down adjustments there, tilt back and forth, more back than forward, of course. So yeah, I mean, other than that, there's a lot of other settings in there that you guys can do research on yourselves. So for splendid modes, there's scenery, standard, theater, game mode, night view, and sRGB. Colors, there's contrast, you know, like the basic settings here. Trace free, aspect control, ASCR. So I like the menu buttons here. They're easy to use, not hard to find, because they're quite decently sized buttons, and there's a I saw the plastic on the bezel, but they're easy to see. You know, easy to see controls. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and please subscribe.